There's a silent killer inside you. It's not fear. It's not failure. It's something far more dangerous. Doubt. Doubt whispers, "What if you're not good enough?" Doubt makes you hesitate when you should act. Doubt convinces you to stay where you are instead of chasing what you truly want. And the worst part, it disguises itself as logic. It tells you, be realistic, play it safe. Maybe you're just not meant for this. But what if I told you that doubt is an illusion, that the most powerful people in history, Buddha, warriors, thinkers, and legends, have cracked the code to kill doubt forever? Today, I'm going to show you 6 ancient Buddhist lessons that will shatter your self-doubt, unlock your hidden power, and transform you into an unstoppable force. By the end of this video, you'll see why the only thing standing between you and greatness was never real to begin with. Stay with me, because this might be the most powerful thing you ever hear. Lesson 1. The story of the second arrow. Don't hurt yourself twice. One day, a disciple asked the Buddha, "Why do I suffer so much from my failures and doubts?" The Buddha replied, "If a man is shot with an arrow, does it hurt?" "Yes, of course," the disciple said. "But what if a second arrow strikes him in the same spot? Would it hurt more?" "Yes." "That would be unbearable." The Buddha smiled and said, "Then why do you shoot yourself with a second arrow? Your first arrow is a mistake, a failure, or a challenge in life. But the second arrow is your doubt, your self-criticism, your regret. Most people suffer not because of what happened, but because of the story they keep telling themselves about it. So the next time doubt creeps in, ask yourself, am I shooting a second arrow? If yes, drop it. Move forward. The first arrow is enough. Lesson 2. The empty cup. Kill doubt through learning. A Zen master once invited a scholar to his home for tea. The scholar was well known for his intelligence and knowledge, and as soon as he sat down, he began talking about all the things he had studied: philosophy, religion, history. His words filled the room like an overflowing river. The master listened quietly, nodding with a gentle smile. Then he picked up the teapot and began to pour tea into the scholar's cup. The cup filled quickly, but the master didn't stop. The tea began to spill over, dripping onto the table, then onto the floor. The scholar, startled, pulled back and exclaimed, "Stop! The cup is already full. No more will fit." The master set down the teapot and looked at him calmly. "Exactly," he said. "Like this cup, you are full of what you already know. How can I teach you anything if there is no space left?" At that moment, the scholar fell silent. He realized the truth in the master's words. Doubt often creeps in when we believe we should already have all the answers. When we think, "I should be better by now. I should already know how to do this. Why am I still struggling?" This mindset traps us, making us feel like we're not good enough. But the truth is, the wisest people in the world remain students. They never assume they have learned everything. The next time doubt enters your mind, ask yourself, am I doubting because I lack knowledge or experience? If the answer is yes, then don't see it as a failure. See it as an opportunity to grow. If you feel uncertain about your abilities, practice more. Skills are built, not gifted. If you feel lost in your knowledge, read, study, and seek guidance. Answers are always out there. If you feel unsure about your path, talk to those who have walked it before you. Wisdom is meant to be shared. Doubt fades the moment you step forward with curiosity instead of fear. The key is to keep your cup empty, always ready to receive, always ready to grow. Lesson 3. The dance of the monkey mind. Stop overthinking. A young disciple once approached his Zen master and said, "Master, my mind is always restless. It jumps from one thought to another, worrying about things that haven't happened, replaying past mistakes. and filling my head with doubt. How do I silence it? The master smiled and led the disciple to a tree. "Watch the monkey in the branches," he said. The disciple looked up and saw a monkey swinging wildly from branch to branch. It never sat still. It would grab one branch, hold it for a second, then leap to another, chattering constantly. "This is your mind," the master said. "Always moving, always restless, always seeking something new to grab onto." The disciple frowned. "But how do I stop it?" The master plucked a small fruit from the ground and handed it to him. "Hold this in your palm and keep your eyes on it. Focus only on this fruit. Do not look at the monkey." The disciple did as he was told. At first, he could still hear the monkey moving, but after a while, something strange happened. The sounds of rustling leaves and the monkey's chattering faded into the background. His mind felt calmer. "Do you see?" the master said. "The monkey is still there, but when you stop paying attention to it, it no longer controls you." The disciple nodded slowly. He understood. The mind behaves like a wild monkey, constantly swinging from thought to thought. It jumps to self-doubt, telling you that you're not good enough. Then it leaps to regret, making you relive old mistakes. A moment later, it clings to fear, whispering, "What if you fail?" If you try to fight the monkey, it only gets louder. The more you try to silence it, the more energy you give it. But here's the secret. You don't need to silence the monkey. You just need to stop chasing it. Imagine sitting in a busy cafe. People are talking, cups are clinking, the noise is everywhere. But if you focus on reading a book, the background noise fades. It's still there, but it no longer bothers you. Your thoughts work the same way. If you give them too much attention, they take over. But if you focus on something important, the noise of doubt and fear fades. Whenever your mind starts racing with overthinking, don't argue with it. Instead, redirect your focus to something meaningful. If doubts creep in, take action immediately. Action drowns out noise. If your mind replays past mistakes, breathe deeply and return to the present. The past is already gone. If fear of the future grips you, do something right now that moves you forward. The future is built in the present. One day the disciple returned to his master, smiling. "The monkey is still there, but it no longer bothers me." The master nodded. "Good. Now you are free." The mind will always create thoughts, just like a monkey will always swing from tree to tree. But you don't have to swing with it. Instead, keep your eyes on your path, and the monkey will dance without disturbing your journey. Lesson 4. Burn the bridge of retreat. No way back. A young warrior once stood at the shore, staring at the vast ocean before him. Behind him, his army waited for his command. Their mission was dangerous: conquer an enemy stronger and larger than them. The soldiers whispered among themselves, their voices heavy with doubt. "What if we lose?" one man murmured. "What if we're not strong enough?" another said. "What if we fail?" The warrior heard their fears, but instead of answering, he gave a shocking order: "Burn the ships." His men looked at him in disbelief. "But, sir, how will we escape if we need to retreat?" one of them asked. The warrior turned to them, his gaze steady. "There is no retreat. We win, or we perish." With no way to turn back, something changed inside them. Their hesitation vanished. Their doubt burned away with the flames of the ships. And with no escape, they fought with every ounce of strength they had. That day they won, not just because of skill, but because they had no other choice but to move forward. This is the power of burning the bridge of retreat. Doubt thrives when we give ourselves an easy way out. When we tell ourselves, "If this gets hard, I can always quit." When we allow fear to whisper, "Maybe this isn't for me, I should play it safe." But when you make a real decision, When you commit fully and remove the escape route, something powerful happens. You stop doubting, you start doing. Think about the moments in your life where you've hesitated. You wanted to start a new business, but you kept your old job as a safety net, and because of that, you never went all in. You wanted to get in shape, but you told yourself, "I'll try," instead of saying, "I must." You wanted to master a skill, but you allowed yourself the excuse, "Maybe I'm not meant for this." And so, doubt lingered. You stayed half in, half out, never failing completely, but never succeeding fully. Now, imagine what happens when you remove the way back. History is full of those who burned their bridges and became unstoppable. The great samurai of Japan lived by the Bushido code. When they entered battle, they never retreated. They fought knowing they had only one direction: forward. The same applies to great artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders. They didn't give themselves an escape. They fully committed, and that's why they succeeded. So, how do you apply this to your life? First, identify where doubt is creeping in. What goal have you been hesitating on? What excuse have you been keeping as a backup plan? Then, eliminate the option of quitting. If you want to start a business, tell the world, make it public, and commit financially. No turning back. If you want to improve your health, throw away junk food, set a strict schedule, and make failure impossible. If you want to master a skill, remove distractions and make practice a non-negotiable part of your day. A warrior who knows there is no retreat fights with a different kind of energy. A mind that knows there is no escape stops doubting and starts creating solutions. The greatest victories in life happen when we leave ourselves no choice but to win. So ask yourself right now, what is your ship? What is your bridge? And when will you finally burn it? Because once you do, doubt won't stand a chance. Lesson 5. The bamboo's secret. Your growth is happening. A young monk, full of enthusiasm, came to his master one day with frustration written all over his face. "Master, I have been meditating daily, practicing mindfulness, and following your teachings, but I see no progress. My mind is still restless. My doubts still linger. Why is nothing happening?" The master smiled and took him to a small patch of soil near the monastery. He pointed at a tiny bamboo sprout barely peeking above the ground. "Do you see this?" the master asked. The young monk nodded. "I planted this bamboo seed 5 years ago," the master said. "For the first year, I watered it every day. Nothing happened. The second year, I continued to care for it, but still, no sign of growth. The third and fourth years passed, and yet, no progress. Others told me I was wasting my time. They said the seed was dead." The young monk listened carefully. "But in the 5th year," the master continued, "something incredible happened. The bamboo suddenly shot up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. It had been growing all along, just not in a way anyone could see. Beneath the surface, it was building deep, strong roots, because without those roots, it wouldn't have been able to support its rapid growth." The young monk's eyes widened as he began to understand. This is exactly how progress works in life. When we work towards something, whether it's mastering a skill, strengthening our mindset, or achieving a goal, we often expect to see results immediately. When nothing happens, doubt starts creeping in. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I'm wasting my time. Maybe I should just quit. But what we don't realize is that growth is happening beneath the surface. Every time we practice, every time we push forward, every time we stay disciplined, it may feel like nothing is changing, but deep inside, our roots are strengthening. Think about the people who seem to achieve success overnight. The athlete who suddenly wins championships, the entrepreneur who suddenly makes millions, the artist whose work suddenly goes viral. It wasn't magic. It wasn't sudden. It was years of unseen effort. Just like the bamboo, they were growing their roots long before anyone noticed their success. Most people quit in the first year because they don't see results. Some quit in the second year because they think nothing is working. A few last until the third or fourth year. But when doubt gets too loud, they give up, not realizing they were just a few steps away from their breakthrough. The question is, will you keep watering your bamboo even when you can't see the results? Whenever you feel doubt creeping in, remind yourself, just because you can't see growth doesn't mean it's not happening. Every small action is adding up. Your effort is creating deep, unshakable roots. And one day, when the time is right, you won't just grow. You will rise, faster and stronger than anyone ever expected. Lesson 6. The lion's gaze. Kill fear with one focus. A young disciple once asked his master, "Why do I constantly feel overwhelmed? My mind is full of fear, doubt, and distractions. I start one thing but get pulled in another direction. I want to be strong, but my thoughts weaken me." The master led him to a vast open plain where a herd of deer grazed peacefully. As they watched, a sudden rustle in the tall grass sent the deer into a frenzy. They scattered in different directions, their eyes darting back and forth in panic. Then the master pointed to the edge of the field. A lion had emerged from the trees. Unlike the deer, it didn't flinch. It didn't chase one animal, then another. It moved with a slow, steady pace, its golden eyes locked onto a single target. It ignored everything else. "That," the master said, "is why the lion is the king of the jungle. While the deer panics at every movement, the lion focuses only on what matters. It does not doubt, it does not hesitate, it does not chase everything, only the one thing it has decided upon." The disciple stood in silence, watching. The lion did not waver. It did not look left or right, and as it moved closer, it did not fail. Fear, doubt, and hesitation arise when our minds behave like the deer, constantly scanning for threats, overthinking every possibility, reacting to every little distraction. We start something, but then we compare ourselves to others and wonder if we are good enough. We begin a journey, but the moment we face difficulty, we consider turning back. Our attention shifts between too many things, and so we make little progress in any direction. But those who achieve greatness, they think like the lion. A lion does not waste time worrying about what other animals are doing. It does not second-guess itself. It sees only its goal and moves forward with absolute certainty. Most people fail not because they lack skill, but because they lack focus. They begin one project, then abandon it for another. They start a goal, but get discouraged when it gets tough. They listen to too many opinions, compare themselves to too many people, and before they know it, doubt has taken over. But imagine what happens when you lock your focus onto one thing, like a lion stalking its prey. When Bruce Lee trained, he had a simple rule. "I do not fear the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." He knew that mastery is not about doing everything, it's about doing one thing with absolute dedication. If you want to kill doubt and fear, you must do the same. Pick your goal and do not waver. Ignore distractions. Stop chasing every new idea, every new opportunity. Do not compare yourself. Focus only on what you must do. Imagine if the lion, instead of focusing on its prey, started chasing every butterfly, every shadow, every sound it heard. It would never eat, it would never survive. The same is true for you. If you divide your energy in too many directions, you will never succeed in any of them. But if you pick one path, one purpose, and move toward it without hesitation, nothing can stop you. Most people live like the deer, afraid, scattered, running in circles. But the ones who win in life, they move like lions. And today, you must decide. Will you continue looking around, doubting yourself, changing directions every time things get tough? Or will you lock your gaze on your goal and move forward no matter what? Because the moment you choose to see only what matters, to move without fear, and to ignore the noise of the world, that is the moment you become unstoppable. Doubt is not real. It's just a shadow created by your own mind. Drop the second arrow. Empty your cup and keep learning. Silence the monkey mind. Burn the bridge to retreat. Trust that your roots are growing. Walk like a lion. You are far more powerful than your doubts, and now you know how to kill them forever. Now it's time to act. If this video changed your mindset, share it with someone who needs this wisdom. Let's help more people destroy their doubts and unlock their unstoppable potential.